Going back through some McLaurin film. We just finished up and came across this post curl rep. We were talking about this with the college guys a few days ago about, do we give eyes on the post stem or do we not give eyes on the post stem when running a post curl? I personally believe that we really do not want to flash eyes on the post stem. We'll talk about why. So McLaurin here, top of the screen, running a post. Right now, it's frozen right before his pressure step to the post stem. The first thing we need to talk about is, where is my reception area? It's coming back down through the ball, right? So just for, not perfect, but it's going to be in this area. So my goal is to get him to chase away from where I'm trying to catch the football. And the best way to do that is to sell big post, where we're trying to go up top, skinny angle, and make him chase. If we flash our eyes here out of this break, now Terry beat him bad off the line. Well, he beat him well off the line. So he really is not going to, he really shouldn't look back. He doesn't have a position to cap the upfield shoulder. But if he was in a better position, he might be more likely to try and cap the upfield shoulder if we peak. He might be more likely to undercut this. He might be more likely to find the football if we look for the ball, essentially pulling him a little bit closer to our reception area, versus if we pressure step and just put our head down and attack high to the post, we are now significantly more likely to get him to chase there. And if we really freeze this, so here's his pressure step. It really looks like he's trying to win up top to the post, right? And now if you look at the DB's body language, he's really chasing. And we tell guys all the time, if our indicators are hip drop, he now has to match our break, and he has to beat the reaction time. Because if there's no indicator, he has to react to my hips dropping. So you pair that with the ability of having to have a better break than us, and we're pretty adamant about the DB should never beat us in our break point. We work full speed breaks too often. We work break point mechanics too often. The DB should never beat us in our break point. It's just our mindset. Is it going to happen? Sure. Or do they work hard too? Sure. But it's not going to happen. It shouldn't happen. That's the standard. And we're worried more about the speed into the break, the body language into the break, than the perfect break. Because the goal number one is make him chase you. I want this corner. I want this DB, full speed, belt buckle to the opposite end zone, and then having to react to the break point. So run, shut it down. Sell big post, shut it down. Okay? Goal number one. Can I get this corner to chase me vertically to the post? If the answer is yes, we're going to win a lot of post curls. And then one more thing to discuss, really, and we're not going to dive into the specifics of the release tool, but when we get this, like catch at two alignment, we really need to close the space. So we like to tell our guys, if I extend my hand, he extends his hand. If we can't shake hands comfortably, I got to cut that space in half. So there's plenty of ways to do it. In situations where we have things like post curls, where we have routes breaking vertically down the field, curls, post curls, comebacks, post digs, things like that, we have to do this fast. All right, is there a time and place for a slide, change in tempo? For sure. Usually the tighter to the red zone. Usually if I'm 3 in the progression. But right now we got to go. So it's eat up the space, get to handshake distance, run. Okay, one thing to note, he does a good job eating up the space, cuts it in half, almost like a hop split, whatever you want to call it. The terminology is arbitrary, but he does a good job eating up the space. And then he does a great job getting the shoulders turned to set the release angle, okay? Which now causes the DB, when he shoots, to get on the outside of my shoulder pad, or ideally if we could blade this shoulder and rotate it on my back rather than my breastplate. If we exit this facing forward with my breastplate facing forward, this punch is now going to get to my breastplate, and now it's significantly harder to clear hands. Okay, so it's a great job getting the shoulders turned, setting that release angle. Now the DB's hands are on my back or my shoulder pad, the outside of my shoulder pad, much easier to clear. And then we say release to run. So once I hit this, it's a sprint. I'm shot out of a cannon. Okay, got to release slightly wider than him. That way he can't take a charge. And then once the hands come, we clear him. In this case, Terry is able to run through them. Great job attacking, shuts it down. Okay, so long story short, post curl, make him chase you to the big post. Make him chase you to the big post. Take him away from where we want to go.